Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I, female 32, was married to a person, 35, for 7 years. It was a love marriage, and the initial years were just like a fairy tale. We came across each other during our internship in a company and instantly fell in love. He sent a proposal for marriage right after he landed his first job. Our families agreed and we got married. We were both working people, and that too in the same field. Life was just as it could be imagined. He used to be a very caring, considerate, and loving husband, or just let us say he acted like that. We both believed that marriage could only be run smoothly with mutual efforts. After a year of our marriage, he received a job offer for a better post, but we had to move to the capital if he had to join. He accepted the offer and we moved to the capital. Life was turning better and better with every passing day. After a couple of years, he became the head of his department. His routine got hectic as he had to travel a lot for official trips, of course. Our communication got affected. Just to mention that we had a 2-year-old daughter by then, and things got even harder to manage. We both were busy in our office lives while I had to leave my daughter with a babysitter. My ex-husband's behavior started to change. He was always tired, which was understandable, but he also used to avoid conversations, discussions, and even intimacy. I tried to talk about it, but he would say that the workload was the only issue. He would keep using the phone, even around family, and would leave the room to attend to a call that did not alarm me at first, but eventually caught my attention. I went through his phone one day and found his chats with his secretary, which were quite intimate. I could not believe my eyes. I quickly searched the phone gallery and found their selfies together, some of them in the bed even. I was shocked, but was not courageous enough to confront him at once. I needed time to digest things. I found multiple pieces of evidence against my ex-husband's extramarital affair, and I used to boil with anger. I then decided to confront him and ask why I deserved that. So one evening when he returned from his office, I asked him what I was. He told me that I was his wife, his family, and everything he had. I then asked who his secretary was to him, to which he replied that she was an employee. And what did I mean? I asked him if she was an employee, then what did those texts and photos mean? I then told him about the texts and photos I had seen. I burst out and asked him why he would do that to me, and was she the reason for his change in behavior and disinterest? At first, he got angry and started complaining that I was spying on him and did not trust him. He asked how I dare touch his phone and went through the chats and gallery. Also told me that I was delusional and imagined things. I asked him to give me his phone right now and let me go through it, to which he thundered with anger and left the house immediately. It was very clear that he had been cheating on me for a while and was not even confessing but blamed me instead. I tried to talk to him multiple times, but he was not ready to listen. Then, one day, I straightforwardly asked him that if he was no longer interested in our marriage, why does not he just leave me and go marry his secretary? To which he replied that maybe it was the only solution now. I was not surprised to hear that, but I was deeply hurt and decided that I would not be wasting my time on that relationship anymore. He divorced me last week, and I somehow managed to get custody of my kid. I am currently at my aunt's house and trying to find an apartment to rent. I am so depressed and worried right now. Is it what I deserved after putting all my efforts into a relationship that meant nothing to him? Was it not enough? Did he even think about his daughter? I am, of course, facing a lot of difficulties as I am on my own now and have to manage everything single-handedly. But at least I took a stand and gave up on that cheater. AITA? I remember when I was writing about my divorce, I was so devastated and thought life would never get back on track again. But I was wrong, as life had a lot more to offer me than a cheating husband and depressing marriage. I got a promotion. My kids started going to school and life became much smoother. But the major update I'm here to share is that I have got engaged to a person who has proved to be my guardian angel. He was my friend from high school, and we knew each other for a long time. When he heard about my divorce, he did not leave my side even for a minute. He was always there and helped me with every little thing. He is the person I trust the most right now. Well, he proposed to me and I could not say no, so we are happily engaged now. He has wholeheartedly accepted my daughter and says that I can take my time to decide when to get married, as he is in no hurry. I never thought I would be able to build a family again and live a peaceful life. It was so difficult for me to trust again and believe in love, as it was love that destroyed me first. I told him that I might face difficulty in relying on him completely due to my previous experience, to which he replied that I can relax and take my time. We are planning our wedding, which is going to be a small, intimate event with only close relatives and friends. I just hope that everything goes well. As I told you guys that I got engaged in the previous update, I got married soon after. I am living a happy and content life with my partner and daughter. However, I had an update for you guys. My ex-husband contacted me through Facebook and asked if we could meet somewhere and talk about something. I was a bit confused, as there was nothing left between us which was to be discussed. The only concern I had was that he might ask to see our daughter, which I could not permit him. If I allowed him to see our daughter, it might affect our daughter adversely and might ultimately disturb the peace of my family. I told him that it was impossible and I did not even want to see his face. He kept on texting me and asking to meet me. He also told me that it was something very important and had to do with his life. My curiosity was piqued, and I knew he would never have texted me at any cost. I talked to my husband and elaborated on the whole situation. I also asked him about my concerns regarding our daughter and the peace of my family. My husband told me that if I wanted to see him, I could, and that he would take care of everything if anything went wrong. He told me that he will stand by my side and support me just like he was always supported me. I have decided to see him in a few days, and I will try to keep you guys updated. So, guys, I went to see my ex, and he was not in good shape. Without wasting my time, I asked him what he wanted and what was so important to talk about. He told me that he lost his job because someone leaked his photos with his AP in the office. He was called for an explanation where he explained that the photos were edited and someone had conspired against him, but the committee soon found out about our divorce and asked about the reason. Somehow, the committee found out that we got separated because of his extramarital affair. He told me that he got fired and was still jobless. He also told me that he was surviving on his savings, but they too were not enough to pay bills for the next month or buy groceries. I felt bad, but knew inside that it was what he deserved. I asked him what he expected from me now, to which he said that I could help him land a job by writing a letter of recommendation, in which I might explain how competent he was and that our divorce had to do nothing with that affair he was accused of. He told me that as I had good contacts in this field, I could easily help him get hired. I told him that I would think about that and left. His AP called me the next day and begged for a favor. She confessed that she acted like a bitch and messed up my married life, but was ashamed of herself now. She told me how miserable they were now and had paid for what they had done to me. She also said that they might end up on the road if my ex did not get hired soon. I discussed this with my husband, and he says that everything depends on me and whatever I decide to do. He also says that it is up to me if I agree to help them or leave them suffering, as my ex acted ruthlessly and meanly. I am still not able to decide how to act to this situation. I cannot decide whether I should help them or act the same way they acted when I was helpless and alone. I remember how easily my ex kicked me out of his life and never looked back or asked how I was managing or how his daughter was doing. I believe in karma more than ever now because they are just there where they deserve to be. NTA, you did your best and managed everything like a hero. You were not valued, and your husband could not see your worth. I am happy to know that you got someone you deserved and he values you. In my opinion, You should never look back and think about your ex as he never cared for you. You should just keep going on with your life and not bother about them. Let them reap what they sowed and enjoy their messed up life. NTA. He was a disinterested husband as well as an ignorant father who did not even care for his daughter. I don't understand how he got the confidence to ask the OP for a favor. Did he forget about his actions and how he treated her? And applause for his AP. She had a zero self-respect when she was seeing a married man and stooped even lower while asking for a favor. OP does not need to think about them or bother helping them as they do not deserve it.
Next story.
My brother, 25, is something. I, 28, male, and my sister, 28, never understood him to be fair. I think no one in our family did. In elementary school, he would refuse to sit with other kids. He would not let anyone come close, and he was expelled from his first school at age 10. After getting expelled from 3 schools, he was homeschooled, and at age 19, he got a diagnosis of ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. All that time, he had therapy, a psychiatrist, and also a support team. I can easily say our parents spent 80% of their energy on him, but it never worked. At 19, he left the house, got himself a studio apartment, entered a job that includes near zero human interaction, and cut contact with me and my sister. The last time I saw him was at our uncle's funeral 5 years ago, and he was forcefully brought by my mom. Last month, my fiancé, 27, male, proposed to me, and I said yes. It is a big event because I am the first one getting married in our generation, and the wedding will be huge. I am not talking like 500 or 600. It will probably be at least 1,500. And my family is huge. My fiancé also has a huge family. I am Italian. He is Armenian. And we also have a lot of friends from high school and college. We met at high school. We were looking at the invitation list, and I decided to exclude my brother. He never talks with anyone. He's always a mood killer, and he can be unpredictable. The only thing he feels is anger and vindication. He said himself when he was 20, he did not understand the concept of happiness. My family lost their mind except my sister and my dad. My mom called everyone, and all of them are currently barricading me. How could I exclude someone from my blood who is just a little quirky? He has ASPD, but whatever. And how can I steal an important night from his life? To be fair, his life is very boring. He always wakes up at 7 a.m., does his breakfast, goes to work, does his job, comes back, gets into his house, and the cycle repeats. I heard him once going on a vacation, and it was a big thing. He mostly stays at his house, other than his bi-monthly therapy appointments, which my parents still drive, and his psychiatric examination. It might be good for him to mingle with us, and I might be a real a-hole for not including him. My in-laws do not have any clue about him. I called his social worker via my dad, and she was horrified with what my mom said. And she said not to send any in-person invite to him because he wasn't in a good place right now. But she suggested we can have a live stream of the ceremony, which might be good for us and him. We are currently trying to arrange that. A little info. We do not have plus ones. If you have kids, you bring all of them if you can. Most of my family and his family at least has 3 to 4 kids in one parental unit. And we have lots of aunts and uncles and cousins and their kids and our parents' cousins and their kids, etc. Our friends also have kids. Some of them will come with their parents because we are close to them. One of our classmates even comes with his 5 siblings. So this is a festival, and I am living for it.
Next story.
NTA, but invite him and let him ruin the experience for your mom only. He'll raise hell about going and act like a kid that needs to be babysat by your mom the entire time. From the moment of invitation to the end of the wedding, he will make her life hell. With that many people going, he can't affect you directly. Your mom is begging you to let her make her bed, so let her, and she can lie in it. Okay, saw the comments about violent outbursts and take back what I said. Don't invite him and stand your ground. Your mom is in denial and putting others at risk.
Next story.
I, 30, female, have been asked by my paternal aunt, Sally, to let my cousins Adam, fiance, Beck, wear a sapphire brooch on their wedding that was left to me when she passed away. For context, I'm the only granddaughter. At 18, I moved in with her to take care of her while she was dying so that she could stay in her home. Before she passed, she told us to pick any items that we wanted. My aunt said she didn't want any of her jewelry as it was ugly and tacky. So Nona left all her jewelry to me, except a few rings for the boys in case they wanted to propose with one. The brooch had been a gift from my granddad, and she wore it on her wedding day. And she told me she hoped I would wear it at my wedding, my something blue. Sally never wanted to wear it. Sally is a difficult woman. She can be very nasty and selfish. When Nonna was dying, she refused to attend appointments with her or care for her. When she lost all her hair from chemo, Sally told her it was embarrassing to go out with her when she wasn't wearing a wig or scarf. When her hair grew back, it came back vibrant white, and Sally said she looked horrific with her pixie cut. My Nonna was devastated, but I loved her new hair. I thought it was so cool, so I took her to get a violet toner, and she looked so incredible. Best of all, she loved it and felt so confident. Just before she died, she was rushed to hospital, and we weren't sure if she would make it. My dad was OS in the middle of a bloody jungle for work, so we were scrambling to get him home quickly. Sally was no help in the situation and didn't want to visit Nonna, so I was responsible for every decision until my dad could get home. I have a daughter now, and she wore the brooch for her baptism. It will eventually be hers, and I've considered putting it on a chain so she could wear it as a pendant. I just feel really hesitant about lending it to someone for whom it holds no sentimental value. Beck never met my Nonna, and Sally had her chance to ask for it before Nonna died. She hasn't directly asked me, just my dad. This is because she thinks he would just make me give it to Beck. I know he would have my back if I said no, but she has already been very aggressive about the situation. I don't want him to get into an argument with his only sibling because of me. All of a sudden, she's decided it holds sentimental value when she used to hate it. I'm probably paranoid, but she's a manipulative and calculating. I feel like she will forget to return it. It's something that was really special to my Nonna and to me. I just don't feel comfortable with it. My dad's parents never got to meet my husband or kids. So having these items is how I keep them connected to my family. Honestly, the thought of lending it just makes me cry. So am I the a-hole? And am I just being silly? Or should I go with my gut and say no? NTA, and she absolutely will not return it. Your aunt sounds like an awful person. Think about it this way. Would your Nonna, who loved you dearly, want you to risk losing something that was so precious to both you and her, and soon your daughter? Keep your heirlooms in your real family and show your entitled, compassionless, shrewd of an aunt the door. NTA, don't loan out something you are not prepared to never get back. Since they don't have the same attachment to the jewelry, they probably won't take care to make sure it is not damaged or lost. You might also want to consider putting it on a chain for your daughter until she is old enough to take good care of it as well.